Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hey, Megan. How's California?
It's great. How are you, Steph?
It's warm here.
It's warm. Oh,
We're having a mild warm up before the ultimate freeze down on Sunday.
Awesome. Well,
Very
hopefully
nice.
we're going to have a great talk with Katie and Shelby, who are here with us from Equine Professionals Club. Hey, ladies.
Hello. It's nice to see everyone.
Thank you so much for coming and being on our live stream.
Yes, thank you for having us. We're super excited. You guys have made some pretty amazing videos for the equine industry.
Oh, thank you.
We're working on it, but we want to hear about you.
And
what you're doing to also help improve our industry. So why don't Katie, why don't you start and you tell us a little bit about your history, and then Shelby, you tell us about yourself, and then tell us about
Yes, of course.
EPC.
Yeah, so I am currently in Virginia. I'm a junior at Liberty University, currently riding on the Hunt Seat equestrian team here at Liberty, but have been a dressage girly just like Megan. Not sure about you, Stephanie, but I've been a dressage girl for a long time. Have done some working student positions to get my bronze and silver medal. Continue just my education both with dressage. I was just at the convention just about a month ago, I guess that is.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Megan. So fun fact.
Yay.
But yeah, so I have been involved with horses since I was 9 or 10 and have my little pony mare back at home while I'm here at Liberty. Shelby, do you just want to introduce yourself quick before we get into EPC?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. So I'm Katie's sister. I'm a couple years older than her. I can't believe it. I just realized I've been a couple years out of college now, which is really hard to believe. But I went to, I know.
Oh, wait, girlfriend.
I went to James Madison University. So not too far from Liberty, but also in Virginia. And I was on the track team there. So also kind of a niche sport. I was a javelin thrower. So I was a spear chucker in college. But anyway, had a great career there. And then since then, I've actually moved down to Virginia Beach. So that's where I'm located now. And what I do for my day job is I'm a financial consultant for accounting firm. So that's my day job. And then have been excited to kind of take on this project with Katie.
Yeah, it's been a great sister bonding project together, using both of our skill sets. But it kind of leads in both with Liberty as well, so with EPC. And so when I first moved to Liberty, I was always thinking about bringing my mare. And with that we're very grateful to have an equestrian center here at Liberty, but there's a lot of colleges that don't have their own facility for boarders, etc. They just have team horses. And so when I was thinking about it, I was looking for, just in your brain as a horse person, you go farrier, vet. Oh my gosh, my mare has an avicular. How am I going to find a farrier that's going to match with that? And so that can be really scary. And so I eventually decided not to bring my mare, but I have tons of friends here who did bring their horses, compete on the team and brought their horses. And a lot of friends who don't have a trainer right now because they don't know who's in the area. And depends on where you move, right? You might be moving to a more concentrated place. If you go to school in Florida, lucky you have a lot of options. But if you go to a school in the mountains of Virginia, you don't know, and I'm sure different places, you don't know what professionals are in your area. That's, not just dressage, but Western, Hunt Seat, jumpers, all the things. And so, in reflecting on that, I have moved my mare multiple times within about an hour radius. And sometimes when a boarding barn goes out and they say, we're not accepting any more boarding, clients right now, you have to move. That means maybe a new trainer that's too far from their radius of dentists, farriers, whatever have you. So, you're at a loss and impacts other professionals for you. And so when I was thinking about it, I'm like, why do we not have a platform for all my friends here at Liberty who they don't know who's in their area? They have no clue what professionals they're going to use for their horses. And they rely currently on Facebook and Google and word of mouth. And all of those are biased, every single one, right? So whether it's social media algorithms or just bias of your own opinion, word of mouth, talking with people. This person might work great for you, but they may not work great for someone else. Mm-hmm. So it's so dependent on your likenesses. And so between Google and Instagram and Facebook, in search of posts hurt my heart, right? So you're in tons of member groups, and I see in search of this, in search of that, in search of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I even on Facebook, right? Like, this is just all this is. And I have seen friends do the same thing, and the comments are full. This person, that person, this person, that person. How are you supposed to know who to pick, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that problem. But the flip of the coin, that someone may not comment on your post because it's never seen at all because of the algorithms of social media. So it's just not fit for our industry and what we're trying to use it for. And so Shelby and I came home on a Thanksgiving break or something, and I said, I do not understand why, we are so advanced. We're living in an era of technology that there is something for everything, right? And I'm like, why is there nothing for our industry with all of the struggle and challenges we're going through? And so Shelby and I created this centralized web platform, currently just a web platform, that is very inclusive in building community and increasing the accessibility of the industry. And so I'll have Shelby go into a little bit about how the site works, but another part of this is just that horse people don't have time to combat the media of Facebook and Instagram. And in talking with a lot of people, it's very time consuming and not always helpful. And when you're in a barn all day long, 12 hours, the last thing you want to do is promote your business or service on social media, because it's a chore. Yes. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have to keep up with this. I have to go comment and hopefully get seen, even though I haven't seen any turnaround or return on investment for my time on social media. Neither does the anxiety, depression, all the other comparison things that are negative aspects of it. But it's not worth the time, and you don't see that investment. So we have created the EPC platform, the EPC map specifically to solve those problems. So Shelby, I'll let you go into kind of how it works and the features of it.
Well, before we jump into that, I know Katie spit out a lot there. Are there any questions on kind of the reasoning behind why we dove into this or anything?
I know it's a long answer for a short,
I love it.
Short
I think
question.
It's awesome. No, I love it. I love how passionate you both are. I think it's awesome. Steph, do you have a question? Are there questions?
No. Makes total sense to me.
And have you guys both struggle? Yeah. Any experience with moving? I know you're in California right now, right, Megan? But home is back in Wisconsin.
It is very difficult. So like when I go to California, where I am now, I have to use the farm vets, right? And obviously I've been doing this for a while now, but let's say in the beginning, maybe I didn't work well with one of the vets, or maybe a farrier, right? And this would have been a great platform, because who are my resources? They're my coach or the boarding barn I'm at. But then maybe the timing doesn't work, whatever. It really doesn't matter. If I want to pick someone else, I will struggle. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I think it's fabulous, and I hope everyone understands it's for all disciplines. All barns, all types of barns, farriers, body work. I mean, I think it's incredible, and I really hope people see it and make their free profile. I think it's fabulous.
Well, and something you just hit on too that I've talked about in member spotlight interviews, which we'll tell you about on the EPC Content Hub, but we've talked a lot about, especially with the bias, there's conflict of interest, right? And there's, you should use this person. Oh, well, you might get a kickoff from that, or that's your sponsor, or you should have the free choice, right, to pick whoever you want. And so that's another aspect of it, I think, too, with even just by word of mouth and relying on that as well.
Mm-hmm. And I would say a lot of times too, you have in an industry so niche where there's a lot of large businesses that are also involved and provide services. There's a lot of just individuals who provide services, whether that's like massage therapy on the side or, your own local farm. So there's a lot of people who provide these services to their industry, their community, and they may not have the resources or like the technical capabilities to build their own website or do something like that, or they may not be interested in that. So our platform is a great way to post their profile and to advertise yourself without the need of a website. You can, people can contact you directly through our site, and it kind of is that middleman instead of how, if you don't have a website of your own for your services. So I can kind of dive into some of the more the features on our site. So Katie did mention what we call the EPC map. And, we encourage you to go check our site out. And at the end, we can kind of tell you all about our social media and how you can reach us. But basically on our website, we call it the EPC map, and it's essentially Zillow for the equine world, niche exactly for the equine world. When you pull up the EPC map, you can refine your searches. We have pretty much every professional type under the sun. If you do something or provide something to the industry that's not on there, definitely let us know. We've tried to get everything off the top of our heads listed up there. But basically you can search by professional, you can search by your area, obviously. If there's like a breed that somebody specializes in, or a English or Western, you can search by that. And then basically it populates the USA map with little pins as to where all the professionals are. So you can either, kind of search around on the map, you can put in your location and try to see the professionals in your area. If you're on your phone, you can kind of switch back and forth, similar to like a Zillow or an Airbnb. You can either look at it from a map format or just a list of professionals. And basically when you click on somebody's profile, it'll have all the information they wanted to list in their description. So that's a bio about them, maybe what services they provide, kind of an in-depth scope of who they are. And then there's other characteristics where you can list your contact information. If you have a website, we have a section for achievements, awards, certifications. So if you're a medical professional, it's a great area to put your latest certifications in there. If you are a trainer, like Katie, Katie is a bronze and silver medalist, you could put that listed under your awards and certifications. Basically anything you feel comfortable adding. In terms of your location, we also have the ability for you not to have to put in your exact address. If you're an individual professional who doesn't necessarily want your home address listed on our site, that is totally cool. You can put your your town, your city, that general area that you service, you can list that as your location where your pin will drop. That way you keep your personal address confidential. And then when you're taking a look at profiles, there's a section for you to contact that person. So you can either send them a message directly via email, and it will basically alert the professional saying, hey, you've gotten a message on our site, check out the message from so-and-so. And then the other option is you have direct messaging capabilities. So all on our site, you can just direct message a user. You'll have to have an account on our site, but you can direct message and communicate with any professionals on our site.
I did not know these things. And I will admit, I am terrible with technology. This is why I have my bestie. I usually hand her my phone and say, help, fix this. But I could actually put our profile up. I actually got it up and did all the things. So people who don't have websites, I think this is awesome. And how are you getting the word out that you're out there? Through word of mouth, the convention? Like how are people finding you?
So
Do you want to touch on that, Katie?
Yeah, I can do that. So the USDF convention that she touched on, that Megan touched on, where I met her, I had some note cards that I was passing out as well. We've done different postcards sending to businesses, handing out at local businesses, but our content hub has been a great way to bring education to that side of things. And so we have had, sorry, some questions are coming in that we will totally get to. But so basically our member content hub, when people become members here with us at EPC, I will at times reach out and see if they would be interested in a member spotlight interview. And so Megan has had one before, and will be featuring her just in a few weeks, I think 2 weeks or so. Her article will be published. But so you have the chance to I interview them. We talk about your expertise, your journey within the industry, anything that you are specifically passionate about. And then I write an article about that and we publish it on our content hub, which is along the main tabs. And we also set out a lot of posts on Instagram about that content. So on our Instagram page, it's at Equine Pros Club. And you can see multiple different how-to posts about how to make a profile, how to register, then, how to upload yourself to the map, all those things. And we're continuing to roll those out as well as, for you too, Megan. So what you have access to as being a member. So our Instagram and Facebook are very up to date with information from our content hub and just sharing everyone's journey and story. And someone that I interviewed very early on, I asked her if she'd be interested in an interview article. And she said, in her response, she said something along the lines of, I had to say yes because this is my only opportunity to share my story. And I just think that is so important because it's not just the elite equestrians riding for Team USA that deserve a spotlight to share their story. I think everyone has a story to tell. Everyone's voice is meaningful. And I think the Content Hub is a great way to share that. So we have our Content Hub live that pretty much every week there is a new article, but our Instagram is a great way to connect with us, get to links of articles, all of those things.
Awesome. All right, let's check out this question. Does your site allow for user reviews?
Yes, it does. So on our site, if you click on a profile at the bottom, you should be able to leave a review. If you don't see it, it might be because you need to log in. So in order to leave reviews on a profile, you'll have to just log into our site. And I can kind of touch on that a little bit from what Katie has shared. So essentially, how are you able to make a profile on our site? It's very simple. The first thing is just create an account. So just username, password, create an account on our site. And then step 2, there is, if you're on your desktop or if you're on your phone too, and you go to our menu, there is going to be a button for create a profile. So you can click create a profile. It is completely free. Right now, we are, allowing free profiles for just like your base profile. You can, add your bio, your location, all those extra details, add as many details as you want, and then submit it. And what happens basically is we'll get an alert that someone has submitted a profile. We'll just do a quick review, make sure everything looks good, the location's in there properly, and then we'll approve it. And basically you get an email notification saying, hey, your profile has gone live, go check it out, see it on the EPC map, and then basically you're good to go. So if you're perusing people and other professionals on the site, you're more than welcome to leave a review and throw some positive feedback out there.
Awesome. And now
So I got a question, Megan.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens if you get somebody who's getting a few negative reviews? My one thought when I was looking at what you guys are doing here is, how internet trolls are. Like, what are your safeguards for trolls? Basically, is the question.
At this point, no one has left a review, so we haven't necessarily come across that. I think it will be an element that we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, if there's a very negative post about a person, it's going to be dependent on language, whether that gets posted or not. I think one safeguard, if it kind of gets to a point where we don't really see this as a value add and it's not necessarily supporting our mission of inclusivity and just allowing people to post themselves, like their profiles out there, maybe it's a capability that we take away just because it's not a value add. We want to make sure that we're creating an inclusive environment and we're allowing everyone the same equal opportunity to advertise their business.
So on that note, let's say somebody receives as a business, they receive in their business profile a not a great review. Is there a way that they will be able to respond to a not so great review?
At this point, I don't know if you can leave comments on a pre-existing review. That is something I'll have to take a look at.
I think you can do that on like Google reviews for businesses. I'm pretty sure the business can respond.
Sure.
So that would be hear both sides of the story, but you don't want your platform to become a contest of who he said, she said. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, agreed.
At some point, I'm sure you'll have a situation. All right,
Yeah.
Megan,
I
over to
mean,
you.
Oh, go ahead.
My question was, what is the review? Is it a review on your website, or is it a review on the trainer? So yeah, see, you have people like me that are not techie, and I'm like, what is this review thing? Am I reviewing you? I'm like, I love it. I think it's awesome. So keep going, girls.
This is me going on there and saying, hey, everybody, Megan's my barn bestie. You got to love her.
Whatever. You love me. This is why I love this. I think this is so awesome that we're here, because two women helping each other. You guys are sisters, and like you remind me of Stephanie and I, because you know, you're strong with the tech. I'm not so strong with the tech, and horses, and the
Not so much.
platform. So, like, I think it's awesome, because it just, and what we're trying to do is also build community. I think that's super important, and helping one another. So I really hope the trolls don't come out.
Yeah, my
something-
solution is we just take it away. So that's my solution.
Yeah, we don't deal with drama. But I think another thing that Shelby and I have talked about just in future growth and ideas for the future is we had talked about the old Instagram, right? And I don't know if you remember how if you followed one person, you would see in your feed everything that all of the people you followed posted. And then at the end, there would be you've gotten to the end of your list, you want to view older posts, right? And so there's a lot of things that as we build our platform and think about, okay, creating more community. Another thing that we understand with equestrians and especially trainers is posting updates of how your business is going, because in a way you have, and we're going to look into these capabilities in the future. That is not something current, but that we have thought about as how are you going to keep an update, right, of what your program is doing? And a lot of people use social media for that, but it kind of takes a turn, right? And so something that we have thought about is having a media to post your updates as a business and say, this is what my clients are doing, or I just got this new certification, whatever that is. You can post an update regarding your business. However, we have thought about no likes, no comments, no anything. If someone, quote, follows your page, that could be, they could see it on their feed, but there's no interaction there. And so people have access to know, hey, what are you doing? How is your business being successful? Because in the end, that's what you're trying to promote, right? Your business and your clients, what everyone is doing. But that's just an idea of us looking towards the future is, I want to get off social media, right? I really do. And I'm not a fan of Instagram and Facebook. And I've heard other equestrians say this, but I have to be on it because this is the only way I stay up to date with things in the horse industry. And so that's something I think that we can address in the future. And by having people find out about us is making that shift and saying, you don't have to be caught up in a toxic comparison environment to be connected with other equestrians.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, so basically, okay, the question is, so basically, if someone is looking for an equestrian center that deals with disabled riders, and it ends, so we could find
therapy programs as well. Yeah. So we have, that's a type that we have had on there. One, we're open to adding as many profile types as we can to support the industry in any way. So if that's looking for a certified equine assisted therapy center, whatever that is, businesses have the chance, programs have the chance to put that as their title as well. For example, we have a Rearing to Read program, which is an equine assisted literacy program with horse powered reading. And someone in North Carolina has a profile for that. So that's another really great thing I did not know about the equine industry. And so that's another great thing that I've learned of just, you know, getting to know people. How
awesome. Steph, you have a question?
Yeah, I did, and then I forgot.
Okay. Well, I have another question. Tell us about the profiles, because I think there's different levels of profiles, and then there's also the featured profile, correct?
Yes. Okay. So currently there's only the free profiles. Kind of what Katie touched on as future capabilities. Right now, we're really just focused on getting people on the site, creating community, and getting as many professionals on there. So the future capabilities and what we're looking at is having different types of membership packages. So there always will be that base profile that's free. So you'll get these certain abilities to post a basic profile. And then what's coming down the line would be different types of membership packages that would, you know, have a fee, a monthly fee or yearly fee associated with it, where you'd get some of those extra bonuses. So you could have what we call a featured profile. So when a search is done, your profile, if you're featured, would show up first prior to the other profiles. And then some other capabilities, kind of as Katie suggested, maybe the ability to add more photos or videos, or be able to add like additional posts under your profile that are, you know, almost like a social media post, but just updates for how the business is going. Or if you have, you're running a clinic or something, having a big event, you would be able to add that additional information. So those are kind of the thoughts that we have for additional membership packages that will be coming down the line.
Well, things to say, if you have a profile with us now, it's not automatically going to change and say, oh, of course, now you have to pay money. That's not how we're
that's
looking
not the
at
plan.
it. We're saying we're thinking about future add-ons. You can always add something on, right? So do not worry if you create a profile now that one day it's going to turn into, oh my gosh, like I now have to pay for this. No. So we're always going to have that free basic profile.
Awesome.
Yep.
Steph.
I remember what I was going to ask. So my farm, basically private. So anytime I want to go somewhere on a vacation, it's challenging for me to find farm sitters. Do you have a farm sitting like area to people? Because we do have farm sitters in the area, I know a ton of people who are like, oh, I need a farm sitter. You know, I have 3 horses or whatever.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, I think right now we just have barn manager, or we have barn manager, and I think we have another one, but that's a great one. Yeah, we will definitely make sure we add that.
That is great.
Up there. And I think
and we're open to any suggestions that way. Yeah.
Yes. So if you have any thoughts, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to work and adding them on. But Steph's question kind of reminded me of something. So if and I don't think we've touched on it so far. If you're a professional, or, you know, you have a farm, let's say you're also a trainer, and maybe you also provide like some massage therapy sessions on the side. What the abilities that you have to do is you can either combine that all into one profile. So if you're just going to put that under yourself and say, you know, I have a farm, or I'm a boarding facility, I'm a massage therapist, and I'm a trainer, you can do that. But you also have the ability to split it up into multiple profiles. So you can create one just for your barn. And so it's only focused on your boarding facility. You can put the exact address if you deem fit, and then you can put the status. So like, oh, you're accepting boarding clients, you're not. And then you could have a completely separate profile just for, you know, if you're a trainer, and you could have, okay, I'm a dressage trainer, and then list information under that. So you definitely have the flexibility to either combine it into one big profile. Splitting it into 2, we probably recommend, just because it's a little easier for the users to scan for exactly what they're looking for. But you do also have that flexibility on our site.
That's awesome. We do have another question. This is a great question. Does your site include updates such as health outbreaks that can affect horses, or rule changes that affect horses' welfare?
That is a great question, and I think that's something for the future of our content hub and possible newsletters one day. Currently, we are doing interview spotlights for membership articles, but of course, we're looking into personal development articles, and also we would love to go that route of also doing something such as outbreaks or rule changes for USEF or whatever that may be could be a really cool article opportunity and newsletter.
Steffi?
Honestly, I have been seeing a lot on social media, the new federal law that is going to take effect, I believe, in February. I don't remember if it's February 1st or early February, but it would be lovely if you guys could find a lawyer to discuss what's happening with that federal law, because it's going to affect anybody and everybody that shows. I think the only, from what I'm seeing, if social media is to be believed, like rodeos aren't necessarily going to be included, but like all the other horse shows. And it's basically if it's a little scary. Their horse shows are going to be required to have one or more persons on site to determine whether a horse is being sored and abused. It's a dirty little rabbit hole to go down right now on social media, and I'm not necessarily one to believe everything I hear on social media. So I would love to. I think it would be great if you guys could find a equine lawyer professional who can study up on that, and maybe you guys can feature that, because that one, you talked about briefly USEF. Well, yeah, USEF generally covers everybody, but if we were to talk about, let's say, all the other disciplines, like USDF has their own rules, and WDA and those Western Dressage Association is going to have their own set of rules. I think that would be a bit of a rabbit hole for you guys to get into the weeds, so to speak. But this new federal law that's really caught my attention, because it sounds like it's going into effect in less than 1 month, and it's being projected through social media as very scary.
And what is the name of it?
I think it's like the Federal Horse Protection Act or something.
Yeah, that's what I think you sent me. Yeah. So that's
I haven't seen that. I have not been in the holes of Facebook recently.
Good girl, but you should look it up because it is scary.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Stephanie sent it to me, and I do think it affects all of us. So I think we were also thinking about looking into that and finding someone who knew more about it, but I haven't had the time to ask anyone. So that's my next step.
Yeah, so sharing resources to bring about knowledge in the industry is what we're both about, right?
Exactly. And tell us about the newsletter that you have and your goals with the newsletter.
So we are looking forward to that in the future. Currently, we just have the articles coming out, but with the potential of possibly doing a newsletter for emails, or like that question suggested, the outbreaks, etc., would be super cool for the future as we grow, and we're in growth mode, right? And
I know. It's so awesome.
And it is super exciting, and we have had some really renowned trainers and equine professionals join us. And that is just super exciting that they see the good in this change, and change is hard, right? And equestrians like to complain about and we all do. We like to complain and not bring solutions, right? And so I think it irks me to see In Search of posts. It irks me to see all of those things, and providing this solution has been super fun to grow and share.
It is fun. I do think, what is this? I missed the introduction. Is this site nationwide or only focused in Wisconsin? This is a super question. Thank you, Jennifer. So is it?
It is nationwide. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yep. So USA.
And with the thought, eventually, as it grows, if I heard right, potentially internationally, correct? Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be awesome, to be international. And I personally love what you guys are doing, and I encourage you. That's why I wanted us to all meet and talk and share, and because I do think our industry, our horse industry, does need change, and I think it's an awesome platform. So I'm super excited. Oh, how do we find you, Linda? Well, Stephanie has been posting the website. Steph, if you'll post it again.
Yep, but I also thought it would be a good opportunity for them to talk about any other social medias we've touched on Instagram, but
Beth.
maybe talk about whether you've got a Facebook presence, whether you've got Instagram, and what other social media platforms people might be able to find you on.
Instagram,
So
we are at Equine Pros Club, and Facebook, it is simply just Equine Professionals Club. And I think
the name was a little too long for Instagram.
Yeah, it was a little too long for Instagram.
We had to cut it.
But in Shelby, one thing that we did miss about in talking about the site and capabilities are business insights, which is super exciting.
Yes, thank you so much for reminding me. So the other great thing is that you have, once you are logged in, you have your profile. There's two things that you have access to. I think I already mentioned the direct messaging, so you'll be able to do that. Then the other great avenue for your business is the business insights. It's just the insights button within your user dashboard. And when you head to that, you can see all the traffic to your post. So whether someone directly like clicked on your post or they just saw it on our like homepage and scrolling through, all of that is rolled up into viewership of your post. So you'll see the number of users who have seen your posts. You'll see a breakdown by the country that it originated from, the type of browser, how they were referred. So all of that information is available to you, and you can track that. You can see the last 24 hours, the last 70 days. I believe it refreshes every 30 days, so you'll be able to see back to the last 30 days. But that's a great resource for businesses just to see how they're trending on our site. And then the other thing we wanted to mention is we're not just for people who are providing services, businesses, organizations. We also encourage equestrians, even if you're not, providing services, to also have an account on our site, because that will, one, allow you to do the direct messaging with any profiles you're interested in. And then you'll also be able to favorite profiles if you want to come back to them later, you want to save your common searches. So those are just some pros to also having an account, even though you may not, be interested in posting a profile.
I like it. All right.
Something I wanted to talk about too, being both with Barn Besties and us trying to bring knowledge and education and solutions to challenges within the industry is something that we talked about at convention, Megan, actually. And it went viral all over Facebook and Instagram. I'm sure Instagram too. But Eliza Sidnor Ram, I believe, is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yep.
She had a great presentation at convention about the challenges that we are facing currently within the equine industry, within barn management and labor and financial planning and making suitable income to live off of instead of just pour back up into our horses, with many different issues in boarding facilities, all of the things. You see a lot more trainers being freelance trainers nowadays because running a boarding facility is exhausting, or, barely breaking even, maybe not breaking even. Having a full horses in training is just a toll. So there's been a lot of discussion around a lot of challenges and a lot of problems within the industry. And one thing that Eliza had mentioned, she started her presentation off with, the future of the sport is blank, right?
Yep.
What is that word for you? And so many people initially at the beginning of the presentation was declining or struggling or negative or whatever negative word you could think of. Some people think, oh, it's great with social media, but there's also the turnarounds, right? And so, but that at the end, when we looked at all the data and we looked at all the struggle, she asked, the future of the sport I want to help create is what? And I think that piece is just so important, because for you, Megan and Steph, you answered that question with action and said, hey, I'm going to, and I think you guys started Barn Besties beforehand, but you are actively trying to grow the industry and build a community of people through your videos and knowledge and education for equine professionals who are young and just coming up into the sport, right? So they don't have an established basis of people that know them, word of mouth, all the things. And so in us trying to do that same thing with EPC, I stood up and I answered that question and said accessible. because that's what this industry that we're
Mhm.
helping to create is with EPC. And I just think it's so important that no matter what area, whether it's horses or not, and social media can be such a victimizing spiral of look at all these problems. But then you have to be willing to accept the change. Watch the YouTube videos. Say, hey, these are the resources accessible to me. I'm going to take advantage of the resources and buckle up and not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, which you two have totally done with YouTube. I could not imagine starting a YouTube channel. That's amazing. And for me, just talking on, my phone and posting on Instagram is weird, but you guys have done a great job with that as well. It's being able to step out of your comfort zone and help other people and having that passion to do so.
Well, and I think for someone who's older, you want to think about legacy and giving back to the sport because, the time that you've put in, you want the young generation to be better than you. At least I do. I mean, maybe not everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
But then also, I think we as professionals have such a great love for horses, right? And with Eliza's survey, which was 1,500 professionals, mainly trainers, we can't change the industry unless we work together as professionals. That means, if we need to raise our prices, we all need to value ourselves and raise our prices, which clearly we do. All of us trainers, 70% on that survey, we don't have a retirement. Like, that's sad, and then we can't afford the overhead on the barn. And so that means the clients, the farriers, the vets, the trainers all need to work together so we all survive. And it's not it's just dressage. It's all disciplines as well. And boarding barns. And so what I want to see, and I don't want to speak for Stephanie, she can speak for herself, is that I want to see us work together and be the change. Exactly. And we need more people to do that, right? And that's where I see EPC and Barn Besties, and hopefully there'll be more people who will show up and make change, like Eliza, and George was also a speaker, but so was Reese Koffler Stanfield. She also has a business that is in consulting, and so I think all of us want to make that change, and hopefully in our own ways can do that, right, Steph?
Absolutely. I kind of have been through the full gamut of being a professional, so to speak. Started off as an amateur, did do some barn management for several years as a barn manager, morphed into a breeder. I was breeding horses for a long time, did a little bit of boarding. People sent me mares to foal and stuff like that, or young horses. I'd be with me for a year or two. And then I got out of breeding and it was just my horses, and now I'm horseless. So I've been through the full thing. But yeah, Megan and I, her idea was to do the YouTube channel because I have another YouTube channel. She knew I could do it. And we talked this through and we both agree, we've said it in our intro video, we encourage people to kind of watch that first video we made. It talks about who we are and what our background is, but we're so thankful for the people who've helped us along our way, that, as Megan just said, we want to give back just like people have given back to us over the years and helped us along the way. And we talk a lot about dressage here because Megan's a dressage instructor, but you had briefly brought up earlier what my background was. And I rode hunt seat as a kid. And Megan and we kind of went through this in another video, but then I got really interested in dressage, but I was in an eventing barn for a number of years. And then I moved down to the greater Chicagoland area, and that barn started off when I arrived there to manage it as mostly dressage trainers. However, it turned into show jumpers and hunters. So, but when I was a little kid, I was at a saddlebred farm. So, and then I moved to a Western quarter horse farm. So I've definitely seen all kinds of stuff. And we don't want people to just think that we're all about the dressage. And that's hard because, obviously Megan's a dressage instructor. She's in California at a dressage barn. But she's trying, we're trying, and we have a lot of videos that are not published yet, but we have been to some other barns, and our goal is to see all the disciplines and to learn all the things.
And
yeah.
And I think we all are a lot more alike than we think, and what I love about you two is you're younger and your energy, and I'm a little bitter and jaded at the moment, and I want to utilize your positive energy and growth and continue on, because I am that survey. I love my horses. I love this sport, and but that means I love all sports and I love all horses, not just dressage, not just warm bloods. And so I want to see if we can flourish and actually work together instead of ripping each other apart. And so that that is my goal for the future of our sport, so you can be better than I ever was. You know what I mean? And so what also is another goal for you? Accessibility, but where do you see the future of our sport or horses or our industry?
I see. Question coming in, but I see the industry trying. I definitely do. People are coming together and people care, and I think that going to convention was a really awesome experience. Even just turning back into EPC, whether that's a dressage convention, whether that's any convention, and in the same way that dressage is mainly my expertise and what I know, regardless of whatever convention it is, that you have people coming because they care about that sport. They're traveling from all over the country on their own penny, right? Because they care about this particular sport, whatever sport it may be. And I think it was very inspiring to see that people do care and people do want to see change. But we need to get everybody following to be able to do so. And grow with us. And I think it's hard because when you're just first starting out, you're like, oh, well, there's not many people on your site, or why would I join? But we need that end goal in mind of do some critical thinking of what are they trying to do? And this could be pretty cool. And that's why we say grow with us. So we have 70 members right now, some renowned trainers, but also we're growing together. And I think that's another important piece of it. And I think hopefully starting with young equine professionals coming through the door and getting advice from people like Reese for business consulting, and start off well. We don't want you to struggle and be the working student working 7 days a week, 14-hour days, whatever it is, right? We want it to be better. And I think growing together is the most important. But I also do see it. And being around that many people at convention was very, very exciting and made my heart happy to see just how many people were excited about bringing everyone together.
Yeah. Oh, well, and also to see how Eliza sparked something in all of us to have that conversation and I think it's a great conversation. I think it's, it will help move us forward. I'm so excited. Ooh, here we go. We have another question. It is through education that change occurs. ID specific problems, build a team of pros that want to tackle a problem, determine delivery system, do more than talk, set timeless using problem and action, which is exactly what EPC and Barn Besties is. Thank you, Linda. Educational. Okay, this is Jennifer. Educational live chats like this are very helpful. Going forward, will these be scheduled weekly? If so, can we get a list of topics in advance that we can share with others? And I think I'll speak for Steph and I, is we didn't know how the lives would go. And we're so grateful that the two of you agreed to come on, because sometimes when I ask, people aren't interested in our videos or being on the video. They're shy. And also this is a hard conversation to talk about the future of our industry. I would love to do regular lives. And if there's interest, I think Stephanie and I are committed to change and helping. We're not afraid of those difficult conversations. We don't want arguments, but we want to have the conversations, and we're not afraid to ask the questions. So we're happy to do that. And then for you girls, what is EPC doing? I know we just talked about the newsletter and potential where that growth is going to go, but do you have other thoughts and ideas on your growth?
I can take this one, Katie, if you
go
want.
ahead.
Yeah, so or I guess our initial thought also, so right now we do a mix of personal development articles on our content hub. We also do, a bunch of member spotlights. We're hoping to transition some of the member spotlights, if the member is willing to maybe something of this forum as well, like a live interview, at least something that we can, become a little more interactive on social media, so that you kind of get to see face to face our members as well as us, talking through some questions, going through their journey, their experiences. So kind of transforming our article to also having some sort of video as well, or kind of podcast-ish. So that's something else we've also considered in terms of, educational chats outside of just article, like written base.
I think that's
as well as attending different events. So the locally for us, the World Horse Expo is coming up at the end of February, early March, and that's there on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. So I will be attending there and sharing about EPC. I will have flyers with me. So attending different events, not just dressage. I need to do the research of whatever events. If anyone has events ideas to go to that is not dressage based, I'm happy to I'm happy to talk with anyone and everyone there and share with them too.
Yeah, like what is it? Quarter Horse Congress? I think
Quarter Horse World, the World Show, and the Quarter Horse Congress. Congress is, I think, 5 or 6 weeks long. World Show's long, but there's also the Pinto Paint Horse World Show.
What?
Yeah,
the Rolex that is not called the Rolex anymore at the end of April. I don't know what it's called.
Land Rover. It's the Land Rover now.
I apologize, Land Rover. Yeah. So eventing.
Hey, we've got the Los Angeles Olympics coming up in a few short years.
Yes.
That's going to be really exciting. So, but Megan, to circle back to Jennifer, if she was referring to you and I, we should mention you've booked us a live speaker for the end of the month. We can quickly pimp that. So that's on our.
When is
that's on our? It's scheduled. It is out on our channel. I got to take a quick look. Actually, let me see if I can see it through.
It's with Krista, and she's a life coach, an equestrian life coach.
29th, maybe? Yeah, it's the 29th, and it's going to be the same time, 7 p.m. Central, which is 5 o'clock for you, Miss Megan, on the West Coast?
Yeah, it's past my bedtime.
Be on the same brain. We must be on the same brain wavelength. We also have this coming week we have an article coming out with a consulting life coach, equestrian life coach as well. So that's crazy.
I love it. No, I love it. I'm so grateful that you guys came on to talk to us, because I think we're doing the same work but different, right? And attacking different changes that need to be met. And I love it. And I love your energy. I just love meeting you at the convention. And, don't be bitter and jaded like me. Don't go down that path.
Well, we're excited to bring the next generation up to hopefully, keep this going and keep growing together.
Yeah, we have
Maybe Megan, we could have them on another live in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Figure out if that's what that looks like.
Yeah, because then we can say, well, what have you been doing? What's going on? Tell us all the new things.
Status update.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Because I think it is hard. Like, you have a vision. Stephanie and I have a vision. We think it's an amazing vision. but then it's getting it out to the world, right? Like I find
Right.
we are also growing, we're in the same boat, and we're always like, hey, check us out, like always, always, always selling ourselves. But I think both of us have an amazing platform to help people, and that's all we really want to do is give back to our industry. And yeah, I think we both have amazing tools. Any other questions? Is there anything else you guys want to share about EPC? Have we covered all the bases?
Besides, I don't
I
think
think
so.
we've covered
Besides,
most of it. I would say just some closing comments. It's just for spreading the word, to all the listeners on here. One, spread out this YouTube channel. This has been amazing, getting to talk with you both. And then also in terms of EPC, if you join us, you create a profile, tell everybody in your community.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's everybody. So if you have a trainer, if you have, the farrier for your horse, spread it out as much as possible. Let people know that we're out there, and it's not, there's no catch to it. We're just trying to add value to the industry. So become one of our first members, join us, help create the community, and then it's only up from here.
Well, I think we have a topic from Jennifer. A great future topic is the next generation. How do we keep the momentum going? And I think that's what we're doing and trying to do, and we just keep poking the bear.
I think that's the $1 million question, right? So I have a question, and this might be, as Megan calls it, poking the bear. Yeah, I like to really, Megan knows I like to really get into the weeds and poke hard. So apologies in advance, because you're going to be like, ooh. So names will be changed in this scenario, but let's say you have a very famous horse professional who's been on your site for, I don't know, let's just throw out 2 years. And let's say they get brought up. Actually, I'll use Safe Sport. Let's just say they get brought up under Safe Sport. Have you thought about how you're going to handle situations? Or let's say they get brought up. I mean, we see this in the FEI most recently with a very well-known decorated Olympian got brought up under abuse charges to the FEI, whatever. I don't want to keep going back to dressage, but we've had world famous show jumping professionals accused of various things. And I'm sure it's happened in the saddlebred world and the Arabian world and all the other, different things. Have you to kind of sorted out how you're going to handle bigger issues such as that might come up, that I'm sure will come up?
Yeah, so I think for us, as we do grow, that is something that we must be aware of, and us staying in tune. I am pretty in tune on Facebook and connected to seeing a lot of those updates of when things such as that do happen. But I think just knowing that there is zero tolerance for whatever that may be on our site. So if there is Safe Sport issues that we need to address and remove profiles or take down whatever have you, we are completely able and willing to do that in accordance with laws, legislation, FEI, all the different things that I think will address when that comes up, and make an announcement to members saying, there is zero tolerance for not only those reviews, but when those things do come up, unfortunately they have come up, that we will address then and not tolerate on our platform.
Can I keep poking and asking more questions? I know Megan's scared because she knows I'm like a bull in a china shop. So, have you had legal counsel on like what your liability as the platform could end up being for reviews that are, let's call them third party, because it's not your reviews, it's going to be somebody out there in the world leaving a review. Have you guys kind of sat down and thought about any legal ramifications, or have you again had professional counsel?
Shelby?
Yes, we have had professional counsel in terms of setting up the business, getting the site up, in terms of terms and conditions, privacy policies, all of that. So in terms of kind of a data perspective, by creating a profile on our site, creating an account, you are agreeing that all of the data that you are listing on your profile, we have the ability to store that information. Any of the, third parties that are a part of actually having to make the site run, that data will, be used in order to make the site function. So all of that has been addressed. In terms of kind of your previous question, in terms of tolerance for if there's any sort of like abuse or certificate or like the safe sports, things of that nature. At the end of the day, we do have full control over whether your profile stays on our site. So at the end of the day, we have control over approving and disapproving what we allow on our site. So that is up to us to make that discretionary choice. But yes, we have had legal.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have had legal counsel over the creation of the site. We haven't necessarily sought legal counsel for things that potentially may happen in the future. But when those issues do arise, we will, seek professional guidance.
See, they're positive, Steph. They're not bitter and jaded like us. So keep it up, girls. But be realistic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I too, I'm a bean counter. I'm in the accounting world, and I'm always trying to look 4 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Yep. I work in audit remediation, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good job. All right. This has been awesome. Any other things you want to bring up, Steph?
No, this has been great. We are so grateful for you having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come on. I'm so excited about your platform. I'm going to continue to spread the word. Maybe Steph can be featured on the platform too, Steffi. And then, I will keep spreading the word, and hopefully our next generation gets it.
Thank you. We are super excited.
I have a little typo in there, but we should go ahead and take final questions. I'm not sure what Linda's asking here. Please list platform.
Because you keep posting it. Girls, tell us again what your platform is and where people can reach you.
We are the Equine Professionals Club, a centralized web platform to increase the accessibility of the equine industry. And we are connecting equestrians and equine professionals together to create a more inclusive community. And you can find us at the link right there, equineprofessionalsclub.com, as well as our Instagram at Equine Pros Club.
Awesome. Awesome job. Thank you so much. Please keep doing what you're doing. I think there is a great need in our country for it, and I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Hope you ladies have a good night.
Yeah, thank you everybody who asked questions in the chat and who are viewing, obviously. So obviously this is going to be saved. This recording is being saved on YouTube. People will have the ability to come back and watch it. So if they have questions for you, is the best channel to reach you directly through your website, or should they message you through your Facebook page or your Instagram, or any or all? Let us know how somebody who is going to see this later, what their best way to reach out to you girls are.
Yeah, we can definitely, we'll monitor the YouTube comments. If there's anything posted after, if you're rewatching, feel free to DM us, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram. And then on our website, we'll have our email listed there. So feel free to just email us at that email address as well.
Perfect.
Do you have like is it like info at your website? Like what?
Yep. Yes, exactly.
Customer service at Equine Professionals Club, or is there like a customer
Shelby
service?
Staib at equineprofessionalsclub.com, as well as info at equineprofessionalsclub.com. Either of those are great emails to contact us at.
Awesome.
Anything else, Miss Megan?
No, I think that was super. Thank you so much, ladies.
Of course.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having us.
Appreciate your time.
Bye. Have a good night.
on a busy night. So we'll say, Megan, you want to stay on a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap up.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Shelby. Thank you,
Bye.
Katie. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies.
So again, Megan, we should touch base just because it was asked what we have for our upcoming live. It is January 29th. And who is our speaker again?
Krista, let me get.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
You did.
But since it was asked, and we should, we are definitely looking for other people. We've only been doing a few of these live streams. I think this is what, our fourth one, Megan, maybe our fifth, if you include Mr. Cameraman showing us how to get fit and be better fit in the world of life. But we are definitely looking, if somebody comes back, circles back, maybe is not here in the live chat right now, but is watching this because it is recorded and saved into YouTube, they can definitely reach out to you and I via our channel email. Maybe there's somebody who we could interview on a live stream. We'd love to see that. You and I have mentioned we've got ideas for people, but it's, of course, we just started this live streaming, and it's finding times where yourself, myself, and a guest speaker or speakers are available all at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of times it depends on the guest and what works for them. But yeah, and honestly, I was like, last month you were like, let's do a live. And I'm like, what's a live? Sure. So I didn't really have an idea of what a live is. Now I do. And then I think basically we didn't know if it would there would be a demand for it, but it seems like there is. And yeah, I think very happy to keep on with the discussions, because honestly, I think the biggest thing is communication and being able to communicate difficult situations. I think is very important. Life skills as well as running a business, I think is really important. So I'm happy to continue with the lives.
Right. You had a really great video that wasn't a live, but it was a recorded video in your barn with your farrier. But honestly, less than a week ago, we had a really wonderful live stream with a firefighter that is saved here on YouTube. We highly recommend that people check out. Again, it's listed under on our channel under all the little headers. It would be under the lives. It is saved. It was literally only a week ago. Firefighter Andy came on, and honestly, probably one of the most amazing interviews I've partake in. Obviously we haven't done a ton of this, but a wealth of information on barn fire safety.
Yeah, I mean, I walked away with it, and Andy was in my barn for years with more information, and I'm just like, I can't wait to go home and make some more changes. And also, I think it goes back to communication. I have in my mind what is going to go on when there's an emergency. And most of the time, the people who work for me are fabulous, but I've never had a meeting about it. And so just so many great takeaways from Andy. So yes.
Right.
And then I did find her name, and I apologize, Krista, because I am horrible with names, but her name is Krista Cahoe, and she is a life coach for equestrians, and I'm very much looking forward to speaking with her, actually. And yeah, learning
again,
more.
January 29th, it is 7 p.m. Central Time, and that would be 5 p.m. Pacific Coast Time, right?
Yeah.
So that's our future live. And again, we are working to try to get other people on. I'm twisting Megan's arm a little bit, trying to get some of her time to do some live streams. They're a lot of fun, and they're very informative. So
they are. Yeah. And anyone in the chat, do you have suggestions? What do you like about the live? Are there topics that you want us to discuss? Do you want to talk about something tonight?
Well, I believe Jennifer brought that up. I posted this earlier. How do you keep momentum going? That's an excellent topic, and it actually wraps into our conversation tonight. And honestly, the title of our live tonight, Megan, you're aware of, I sit on the board of directors for a local nonprofit that is equestrian themed. It's a dressage club, dressage and combined training for the state, and have been on their board for it's been over a decade. And honestly, what she brought up is something that all the GMOs are struggling with. So the future, and how do we keep the momentum going? So you and I are doing our little part, hopefully, right?
We
trying to sort that out.
I'm super excited because there's so many more things that I want to do with Barn Besties and grow and more. I mean, we're having a blast with, vet care. Yes, that is one. And I have asked 2 of my vets if they would come on and chat with us. I definitely want to discuss with other professionals. But
I think the farrier, I mean, I loved your video when you interviewed your farrier, but it might be really interesting to get if he'd be willing to do a live.
I think he would. I also was thinking about talking to the California farrier. So when I see him in person, I was going to ask if he would be interested in doing another interview, because I don't want to just interview one farrier. I don't want to just interview one trainer, right? Like, each farrier has their own quirks and things that they focus in on, and I think they all bring attention to the needs of farriers or any other equine professional. So yeah, here we go. Possible
good idea, Jennifer.
topic: how to overcome a fall and be able to ride with confidence again. Well, I have a great person that I've actually been in the back of my mind to speak to, is Allie, who is Stephanie and I will discuss that, and I will also ask her. I don't want to put her on the spot, so I won't say anymore. But I think that's a great topic, and we can discuss that.
That's a huge topic, because boy, when you know, it's one thing when you're a kid to fall off and go back out and ride again, but if you've had I'll just say horrific wreck or a bad wreck, it is really hard to trust your horse to get on their back again. So this is a great topic. We appreciate that. Are you getting the list out, Miss Megan?
I am, as you can see, because I'm getting older, I don't remember things. So
yeah, we get too busy too. So while we've got you on, are you still doing okay and still safe in Southern Cali?
Well, it's been an interesting journey, I gotta say. I'm learning a lot from the natives, but I also have people who are like yourself in Wisconsin. So I feel like I'm living 2 lives, which I am, and I'm watching the news every day, and it's very it gives me anxiety, honestly. But I am also going to continue to watch the news. Right now, the winds have died down, and the second gust didn't really happen. And so everything is quieting down, but the winds can come back at any time. Little auto fires, people can start fires. So it's an El Nino year. And so that's really scary out here in California, because everywhere you look, it's super dry, and it could just go up like a box of matches. So that's terrifying. Clothing choices.
Yes. What do you mean? So Sue, can you elaborate on what you mean by that? Because that's a lot. That's a big topic we can talk about. Is she talking about like options on what you can wear riding? I'm not sure what she means by that. So Sue, if you can elaborate down I can flash that on the screen for Megan. But I'm glad to hear you're doing okay, because honestly, especially after talking last week with Andy the firefighter, I understand your anxiety. It gave me anxiety thinking about, your power is out, but you have to keep your phone on, because you could get an evacuation alert at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And have to evacuate, power or no power.
I have to say, living in a different state is hard too, because like at home, when we lose the power, we lose water. So here at the Airbnb, it's actually city water. And same with the farm. They can lose power. So it's really weird. I was like, Avi, don't go in the shower. What are you doing? We don't have that much water. Don't use the toilet. Be careful. How often you use the toilet? So I was like losing my mind. And then I'm like, oh, we can use the water. So yeah. So she wants best type of riding gear. So that was very disturbing. And then to be without power for 4 days, like it gave me so much anxiety, and watching the news was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you were discussing how you have one way out of the where you are with the horses, one route. That's mildly terrifying.
Yeah, and then but when you talk to the natives, everybody is so kind of like me with a tornado. Oh, it will be fine. They're pretty casual about it. But then after you ask on the fourth time, they're like, "Oh, we're always worried about fire." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." I was just calming down. Now I need to be worried. So, yeah, but I feel better after talking to Andy because now I have a plan in my mind. Horse training tips.
Ooh, wow. Well, as Megan mentioned earlier, we are wanting to get into barns that are different disciplines. We don't want to be labeled as Megan's dressage channel. Right, Megan? So,
and also,
and
yeah.
it's just coming. It's coming. They're coming. Videos are coming. We've been to a couple barns, and they are not dressage instructors or trainers. So we have those videos scheduled. We can quick say that, Megan, we've got videos scheduled into very early June.
Yeah. And I am hoping that we will get to take videos out here in California. So anyone from California, in Southern California, who might be interested, we just want to talk and how's life? Why did you plan the barn the way you did? Or if you don't own a barn, I'd love to talk to a trainer who doesn't own a barn and talk about, do you lease a barn? Do you just come in and teach? So I really hope other trainers are open to that. I have found out in California, it's hard. I'm really twisting some wrists to try to get people to talk with us. So I hope eventually they will.
Yeah, that would be great. So, well, Megan, we had another this one isn't an hour and a half though, give us credit, but no, I'm glad we stayed on afterwards to kind of wrap up this because we've had some really great ideas. And yeah, just want to make sure everybody's aware we got that live coming up. So Megan, when do our videos drop each week?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the times are always a little different, but they're all before 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays and the weekend, I have a lot of shorts that I've been publishing. And guess what, guys? I've been publishing them. It has taken Stephanie maybe 3 or 4 months to train me, and I'm still not that great. I still need her to check. But guess what? I have taken the shorts myself, and then some are really awkward, but got to go through that. And then it kind of sucks not to have Stephanie here. I actually like doing the videos with Steph when it's
fun.
one minute is like super long without you. Did you know this?
Yes.
It's like, and then the other day I was like, oh my God, what tractor is that? Where is Stephanie? So I can't
We miss you too, Megan.
I do miss you. Yeah, I cannot wait for April to come and we can get back to doing videos together because I actually don't like doing videos without you. And it is not the Megan channel, it is the Barn Bestie channel. And I was thinking though, I had an idea that maybe you should go to my barn on the weekend when my barn manager is working, and I think you should like talk about what happens when I'm gone and talk to Ann. And I don't know if Ann might be listening. I'm not sure she might be happy about that, but I think that would be really cool. Like, what happens when the cat's away?
Yes.
Yeah, what happens
I
in
could
a
sneak
barn?
up on Mumsy.
Yeah, good luck with that. Mumsy's always watching. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges. But I have amazing people who work for me, Anne and Karen. They're just doing an amazing job and I appreciate them so much. So it might be fun to talk to them if they're open to it. I don't know if they are, but
Gotta get their agreement on it. But yeah, that's a great idea because not a lot I can talk about on my own.
Yeah, because like what happens to your barn when you're away? Because there's several options when the trainer leaves. a barn, like there's many trainers that, go south for the winter. And so what do? I remember one season I closed down my barn, and that's not very profitable. Another season I had a friend the first year I did it. And, when I got back there, I had no clients. So that was really fun. And then, right now, I feel very lucky to have amazing people who work for me, and talking about that would be great. So I hope eventually one day we talk about those things, and also how other trainers do it. So I'd love to do that.
That's great. Well, I can tell you right now that making videos on my own is hard because, I miss Mr. Cameraman too. So you can let Mr. Cameraman know he is missed.
You should go behind.
Yeah.
He's listening in. I think we should have a little video bomb.
Hey!
Hi, cameraman.
Hello, Mr. Cameraman. You are missed. Hope things are going well. Like the hat.
I know.
All right. Well, this was great, Miss Megan. Next scheduled video again, the 29th, but maybe we can pop one in ahead of that. So thanks to everybody who is on. Again, if you're just watching this after the fact and we're no longer live, if you got questions, as the ladies said, leave them down below in the comments. We're all going to be monitoring the comments. And of course, they did leave their contact information as well, but you can get on their website, email them through that. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram, they said. So yeah.
And I have one more thing. Thank you to all our subscribers that got us to 600. Yes. This is a big deal. Like, this is amazing. Thanks for believing in us, and we hope we offer you knowledge and laughs.
No, we're hoping, as we said in our early videos, is we're thanking everybody, and we want to share knowledge that we know, but also people that we're interviewing, because we wouldn't be able to do what we did without help. So yeah, great. Well, thank you, Miss Megan. I hope you guys have a good night out there in Cali. Stay safe. Right?
I miss you. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.